It's that time of the evening for the speeches. And I know that the father of the bride, Frank, is looking forward to this very much indeed. So please give him a big round of applause. Frank! It's me, brother. Good? Can you hear that? Good?
Yep. Right. It's all right. It's always like that. Okay, good afternoon everybody. I'm Frank Woods, as you probably just heard. I'm father of the beautiful bride. And beside me here is Lee, my own lovely bride, and of course Nicky's mum. So, like most people nowadays, faced with the task of making a public speech, I asked the internet. You know about the internet? So, it seems there are mixed opinions about the father of the bride's speech, but most of them agree on one point. Apparently, it's one of the wedding's highlights, okay? But it's usually seen as a warm-up act, and it's something to be endured rather than enjoyed. So, brace yourselves. This is where I was going to roll out the 3 feet of paper, but that joke's already been done somewhere else. So it's my pleasure to welcome you all today to celebrate this joining in marriage of our daughter Nikki Woods with the lucky James Pendleton. Thank you. I would particularly like to welcome also Brian and Hilary here, and thank them for providing such an eligible groom in the show. And thanks to all of you, friends and family, for coming to share this important day. And I hope that you'll enjoy the rest of your time here, because we've got something exciting coming up after the speeches. So unfortunately, some key members of our family are unable to be here today. My brother Robin and his wife Anne are not in the best of health. And they couldn't manage the journey from their home in Devon. But they are represented here today by their son Martin, and they send their love and best wishes to the happy couple. Another brother, Philip and Sheila, they live a bit too far away in New Zealand, and they couldn't make it either, but they do send their best wishes in regards to you both. And very sadly, I'm afraid, is that we're also mourning the loss of Lee's mother, Rosemary. She passed away very peacefully just a few days ago, and after many years of poor health. She always looked forward to Nicky and James coming to visit her, and she was delighted when they announced their wedding plans, so she'll be sorely missed. But now back to happier things. The internet advice said to tell you all something about our daughter that you may not know. On the basis that a picture is worth 1,000 words, I thought you would rather see what Nikki was like in her formative years, rather than me droning on. So, now I'm also sure that some of you are wondering what's under this fabulous dress. I know James is. So, can I ask each table to open the green envelope? The green envelope and pass it round. A few seconds to do This is everyone's chance to see Nikki in her birthday suit. She's enjoying her bath in the sink. At a very young age, I'm pleased to say. It's just as well that she enjoyed washing, because she was rather a messy eater, as some of you may know now. There's also her first encounter with computer technology on that picture as well. So, now, let's open the silver envelope. Wow. Open the silver envelope. Quicker. So, here you see some before and after pictures of Nikki's first day at school. And can you guess which one is which? I particularly like her through a edge backwards style.
That I still rock today.
Yeah. Also, you may not know that she was actually a dab hand at reciting poetry, and she won a medal at the competition in Cambridge. Wow. So you might like to ask her to recite this later. I think she's ready for that. And finally, the gold envelope. Gold envelope? Gold envelope. This has been on video, it's been so much easier. The gold envelope. So, and here's a chance to spread the embarrassment for Nikki's oldest friend, Angela.
Yeah, I just saw that one.
Nikki's oldest friend, Angela. Later on for the bonnet today, as you know. And here you see Angela trying a beauty treatment made from a cheese and cucumber sandwich. And also trying the rocking horse that Nikki actually made at school. There's also been a fancy dress party. And a school trip to Egypt many years back. And last but not least, the brilliant idea that they both had to avoid crying whilst cooking onions. I hope you've seen that one. Anyway, framed copies of these photos will be available later for a small fee, unless Nikki agrees a good price for the negatives. So, despite this ritual humiliation of sharing these photos from Nikki's past, Lee and I obviously dearly love our daughter, and we're very proud of the capable and confident young lady that she's now become. So, we know that James is very fortunate that Nikki chose him, and we're delighted to welcome him into our family. He will be an excellent husband for Nikki, as he has demonstrated during his audition over the past few years. He knows to let Nikki do the talking, and to wear the trousers, but perhaps wearing her ponytail is a step too far. James isn't the world's most practical person when it comes to DIY, but Nikki has now shown him which end of the screwdriver to hold. Last week she actually let him plumb in their new dishwasher. Wow. It was all going well until James dropped it on her foot while trying to pick up the cat at the same time. What was he thinking? So that brings me to a very important point. There are 4 in this marriage. Nikki and James, plus Meg and Steve, their cats. So Meg and Steve have given them lots of experience in coping with fussy eating habits and changing litter trays. So perhaps one day they can put this to good use and there will be the patter of tiny feet instead of tiny paws. Okay. Their shared love of animals influenced the choice of the venue today, as you can understand. And I'm sure you'll agree it's a stunning location. So I thank them for choosing it and for arranging such beautiful decorations. I know they put a lot of work into this themselves. But now there's a word of warning. So if you've actually tried to hide a bit of food about your person in the hope of having something to chew on a few minutes later, can I remind you to dispose of it before your safari truck goes into the line enclosure? So according to the internet, I'm now supposed to impart some wisdom to the happy couple. So here goes. I heard it said that marriage is like a deck of cards. In the beginning, all you need is 2 hearts and a diamond. By the end, you wish you had a club and a spade. So Lee and I are sure this will not be the way for Nikki and James. They've got many role models with long and stable and loving relationships in both families. I know Brian and Hilary have celebrated their 30th anniversary. Lee and I have reached 40 years, and my 3 older brothers have all been together with their wives for 50 years. Although Nick had to be different, of course, and he had a 49-year engagement with Diane before he engaged just a year ago. Okay, so you've endured enough of my speech. So may I ask you all to stand and raise a glass and wish them a happy life together. Nikki and James. Nikki and James.
Thank you very much, Frank. And now moving over to the maid of honour, Angela.
There's going to be payback, Frank. Good afternoon, everyone. You probably now know me a little bit better. I'm Angela, Nikki's maid of honour today. Apparently it's customary to start a wedding speech with a little joke to break the ice. Did you hear about the two Ariels that got married? The ceremony really wasn't up to much, but the reception was fantastic. So, a maid of honour speech is something that's a little bit unusual. So when Nikki informed me that I'd be doing a speech today, I also took to the internet, Frank, and I googled it because that's the way forward. And I actually found a few how-to guides, how to write a maid of honour speech. It's a bit more of an American thing, so it was all a bit new to me. So I found the perfect how-to guide, and it told me a few tips. First of all, I need to compliment the bride on how beautiful she looks. I need to thank the bridesmaids, thank everyone for coming. Is that done? I also learned some of the don'ts in writing a maid of honour speech. Don't mention the ex. They look so worried. Don't tell highly inappropriate stories about the bride. And definitely don't swear. Shit. On a serious note though, there's that time in everyone's life where they meet that special someone, the person that they've been waiting their whole life to meet, that makes them complete. And that's definitely happened for Nikki when she met me 23 years ago. Nikki and I actually met at school, as you can probably gather by the lovely photos. Thank you for that again. We were in separate forms at school, but we were actually met when we were about 6 or 7. We got put together in a drama class, and the teacher paired us up and got us working on an activity together. I was really happy, but Nikki, not like her to throw a tantrum, but she did. And she stamped her feet and went, "No, I'm not working with her." And that was how it all began. Clearly I wore her down over the years because we have been friends ever since. And actually we've been so inseparable that we even worked together for many years, probably 10 years. And Nikki worked for my mum's family business, AV UK, and there's a few AV UKers here today. Hello. Hello, Mum. And Nikki quickly progressed within the company and became one of our sales team leaders. So she had a small team of salespeople that she managed. She did really, really well. And in about 2011, I think it was, we recruited James. So I thought, James and Nikki would be a perfect fit. James would work well in Nikki's team and she'd get the best out of him. Nikki wasn't so sure. When I told Nikki the good news, she told me, "Nope, I'm not working with him." I think the words were, "He's a drip." But again, James must have worn her down over the years. And her hatred of James soon turned into a huge crush, which lasted several months. But luckily, James felt the same way, and they got together. And Nikki told me that she was really pleased with her choice of partner when she got together with James, because apparently James is a huge fan of cats, just like Nikki is as well. Having been friends with Nikki for over 20 years, James, I think that it's probably my place to give you some advice if you haven't gathered over the last 6 years. So, number one piece of advice. They say that most marriage breakups are down to the husband thinking too much. Well, actually, we should go. Marriage is a relationship in which one person is always right and the other person is you. And if at first you don't succeed, try doing it the way Nikki told you. But on a serious note, doesn't she look amazing? You look incredible. And thank you so much everyone for coming. Big thank you to the bridesmaids as well. Literally Nikki couldn't have done it and I would have probably had a nervous breakdown as well. You've all been absolutely fantastic and you all look wonderful. Think of a couple more well suited than the two of you, and try not to cry again, who are so perfect for each other, so alike in every way, and who work so well together. So I'd also like you to raise the glass, please, to the new Mr. and Mrs. Pemberton. Or Pemberwood. You may now update your Facebook relationship status. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Angela. That was lovely. And now to Mr. Pemberton.
Yes! Yes, Pippo! Yes!
It's alright? Yeah, this is the moment I wasn't waiting for, so... Yeah, so firstly, thank you all for coming. I know we haven't really picked a local venue. Everyone keeps asking why here. We have no family here at all. No one's from here. We just like the venue. I hope being here today, you can see why. So I've got a few thank yous, so make sure you've got your glasses full. I mean, that table probably drinks a bit fast, so... Firstly, I want to thank my parents and Nikki's parents. You've been brilliant and you produced two phenomenal human beings. Frank, Lee, I mean, what can I say? You've made me feel part of the family from day one, so you've been brilliant, supporting both of us. Brilliant speech, by the way. I love that. So, thanks to Frank and Lee, everyone. Now to my parents. I'm going to keep it short because Mum's cried so much I saw someone building an ark. But yeah, honestly, I can't say enough about you two. You're the perfect parents for me. I'm sure Nikki will love having you as her parents too. So, now, anyone that knows us knows that we don't give normal presents. Flowers wouldn't be normal for us, so we decided to go a bit out there. So I'm just going to go grab something back here. Take those out. Okay, so I really hope you like this, otherwise you're stuck with it. So I'm going to show everyone else, then you can see it. We've got the Music Man and Iron Lady. I'm sure you know why not, but you've got the dogs there and everything, so hopefully that'll go. You'll find somewhere nice for that to go. Okay, so Frank and Lee, we have The Adventures of Frank and Lee, and we have Lee riding a paintbrush because she's quite the artist, playing Quidditch because she's a Harry Potter fan, and anti-Spider-Man because Frank is not a fan of spiders, trying to get them away there, on their car that they love and adore. So yeah, find a nice place for this. I've now got to say that the bridesmaids look lovely. I mean, they do look lovely. Yeah, I mean, you've had to keep Nikki calm today, so well done, honestly. I know what it's like to try and keep Nikki calm, so honestly, congratulations. And the hen do was amazing. Nikki loves Centre Parks. I mean, I'm sure I'll be there soon if it's up to her. So, round of applause and drink to the bridesmaids. Of course, now I've got to thank the ushers. I'm not really sure what for. I mean, I did see Chaz being a waiter a minute ago, so well done for stepping up and being there. But seriously, they've been close friends of mine for a long time. They've been with me throughout many bad haircuts, even this one. I really like being your smelly Grebo friend. And thanks for being here today. Thanks to them, everyone. Now on to my best men. Now I've known them for quite a few years. I could say they're like brothers to me. You may notice that I didn't pick just one. I had to pick two because, to be honest, I don't trust one or the other without supervision. So, to be fair, I had to be honest, I thought I made a good choice. Then I kind of doubted my decision when I thought, hang on, they're planning the stag, they're going to do a speech, but they really pulled it off with the stag. I mean, it was brilliant. I went through more outfit changes than Beyonce. I've more drunk, more embarrassed, and more hungover in my life. You did an amazing job, and I'm sure the speech will be all right. So yeah, thanks to them. And yeah, before I finish, just on behalf of Nikki and myself, thank you all for coming. It means the world to us. And you thought I missed out Nikki then, didn't you?
Oh!
So there's a lot I can say about Nikki. Over the lot.
Should you?
Yeah, I was going to tell the story how I met, but thanks, Angela. As you know, it wasn't really the fairy tale. Nikki clearly liked me, but didn't admit it on day one. But yeah, there's about 3 different things that I learned about Nikki over the years. The first, although she hides it well, is she loves animals. She loves the cats so much, it's ridiculous. To the point that I said to her the other day, so apparently the wedding is the best day of your life, and she went, no, best day of life is when we've got the cats. So that shows where I rank in terms of our household. The second is she has massive road rage. It's ridiculous. You'll be in the car with her 1 minute, she'll be sitting there having a polite conversation, the next minute she's Danny Dyer. I don't know where it comes from, but it scared the life out of me the first time. And, yeah, it's just normal now, we just carry on after she's just had a little session. Third of all, I learned that she is the one. I've never doubted that for a second, and honestly today you look stunning. Yeah, but yeah, I can't think of anything better than spending the rest of my life with you, and yeah, you're just perfect in every way. So, can everyone please be outstanding? So, Nikki, my beautiful wife, I love you. Okay, so thank you all. Now I've got to hand you over to the Chocolate Brothers. Please be kind, and don't listen half of it's probably a lie. Thank you.
Okay, well, we thought it's only right to start with a nice little tequila shot for James. Rather than making him from the straw like normal. There's only oh, there's a lemon to go. There is one. Something Carter. Congratulations.
Cheers, thank you.
Okay, so for those of you who don't know me, I'm Ollie, James's youngest brother. And for those of you who know Aidan, I can only apologise. James has been well known for being indecisive. I mean, he couldn't even just pick one best man. But if there's one thing that he's always been sure of, it's been Nikki. Although Nikki showed some nerves after the engagement, James managed to somehow stay on course and marry today the woman of his dreams. I'm sure some of you have heard of the story before, but maybe only part of it. It was a few months after James proposed, and they was going to one of their friends' weddings. I think they might be here today. And at this point, I think Nikki began to think of their own engagement. I think she began to panic, and when James pulled up at the services, Nikki threw her engagement ring out the window. About 15 miles down the motorway, James looked down and noticed Nikki's ring was missing off her finger. Nikki then somehow managed to convince him that she was moisturising her hands at the petrol station. It must have somehow conveniently fell off her finger. James then drove all the way back to the services, and after about 30 minutes or so, was crawling around his hands and knees, managed to find the crumpled ring that had been run over several times. And yeah, obviously today is the day. So yeah, starting. I must admit, James's persistence has definitely paid off.
Everyone that knows James and Nikki will already know that they have a very unique taste, so a conventional wedding was never going to be on the cards. With that being said, I think everyone here today can admit that they've chosen a very beautiful place and they've organised an unforgettable day for everyone here. I know that one of the most important things here was that they had all of their close family and friends to celebrate with them, and to have our dad here in full health means the world to all of us and Nikki. We can all agree that James has scrubbed up pretty well today. considering he hasn't always been such a fashion icon. If you knew him growing up in school, you would certainly remember his signature hairstyle, bold cut with triangle little curtains. This, along with his exceptionally tall, gangly frame, his mouthful of multicoloured braces, his constant spicy pepperoni breath, his skin was pale as Edward Cullen, and his face was resembling a small child with severe chicken pox. As you can imagine, he was always a big catch with the ladies. But lucky for Nicky, he's definitely grown out of this stage, and as the years gone on, he's certainly blossomed into a quite attractive young man. It's nice to see James wearing his big boy pants today. As we all know, he doesn't wear the trousers in the relationship usually. Over the past year, Nicky's actually developed a little thing for guys with man buns, four in particular. And shortly after hearing this, James started to resemble someone that's recently lost their job. No offense, James. But I was happy to hear that this wasn't the case, and in fact, he's under strict instruction from Nicky, aka the boss, to grow these luscious locks for the wedding.
We've both been very surprised at how lucky James has been since finding Nicky. To go from singing Happy Birthday in a bear suit with Frankie and Benny's to then selling traffic cones. And now he's a big shot in the city, working as IT support for Microsoft. Well, to be honest, I don't really know what he does. But it has been said that he goes as an undercover hitman, known as aka John Wick. Those of you who have known James from a young age will certainly agree that he's had some unfortunate moments. Just like today, stand at the altar, saying, I do, before the registrar said so. I remember being on a family holiday with the Monk family, and James was about 15 years old, and we all rocked up to the pool. On the first day, it was absolutely heaving. And the smooth operator you all know as James Pemberton somehow managed to slip over about 28 times from the sun lounge of the pool, eventually just sliding in. Like all good brothers would, we pretended not to know for the rest of the holiday.
I also remember another trip, we went away to Turkey, and we decided to go paragliding. At about 500 foot in the air, James started to feel sick, and despite the guide saying at the top of his voice, it's left, 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 he threw up right into the wind, covering them both. Also, some lucky sunbathers on the beach below. Safe to say, he wasn't their biggest fan when we got down to the bottom.
I remember another time we was away in Poland on a family holiday, and we decided to go on a horse trek through this forest. When we got back from the horse trek, I remember the guide saying, that is the first time, honestly, I've ever seen someone manage to trip over a horse and then have the horse down on top of them. I'm pretty sure she wouldn't have been so surprised if she knew how unlucky James was and how uncoordinated he is.
Things have completely changed, as in 3 days in Prague, he managed to lose his phone, which I stole back, lose his wallet, cripple his back in go-karting, so I had to sit out the next round, but I think it was because he was terribly bad. And yeah, he face planted the wooden deck while trying to take off his wetsuit and pink leotard. But we actually feel pretty blessed to have him here today. While we were away in Prague for his stag do, we did think it was a good idea to go whitewater rafting after probably about 24 hours of drinking. And if you know James and you've experienced a bit of a hangover, probably wasn't a good idea. When the raft completely flipped upside down, everyone tried to swim to safety. I remember panicking and just looking at James, saying, we're getting pulled back in, we have to move across. James just looked at me with his arms by his side, making no attempt whatsoever, with an expression on his face that all I can describe as, this is it, and just agreeing that was his fate. But it has to be agreed to all of the boys who went to the stag do that James wins the title for #1 stag. He was such a good sport, and he took absolutely everything we gave him on the chin. And I mean, there wasn't many people that were going to wear all them outfits that we had in store for him.
I know that we constantly wind James up and give him stick, but I honestly don't think that you can meet a more genuine guy. He would honestly do anything for anyone, and to this day I don't think I've ever heard him say a bad word about a single person. You deserve all the happiness in the world, and we're so pleased that you found this with Nikki.
It has to be said that all the ushers look great today. And all the bridesmaids look absolutely stunning. Even our sister Yaz, who would have thought it after all these years, it's been called Mowgli out of Jungle Book.
Nikki's truly outdone herself with organising the wedding today and looks absolutely stunning. Anyone who knows James and Nikki will 100% agree that they are made for each other. Although they are both terrible at DIY and both think it's socially acceptable to walk their cats on leads in their garden, they're always making each other laugh and never taking themselves too seriously, and clearly are in love.
They say that marriage isn't about finding the person you can live with, but it's about finding that one person that you can't live without. And I think James has definitely found that with Nikki. If everyone could raise a glass for the new Mr. and Mrs. Pemberton and just wish them a happy future together.
Cheers.
And I think that's it for all the speeches. Unless Nikki wants to say anything.
Excellent speeches. Now that's really set the trend, because the evening's not over yet, because in 10 minutes time you lovely people are all going out on a safari. Now the safari entails getting on 2 trucks with trailers, enough for 100 people, so there's plenty of room. There are blankets available which will be over by the trucks. Now I do say 10 minutes because it will need to leave on time in order to get round before the feed truck. Otherwise you get held up behind the feed truck and you'll be out there for hours. So if you don't want that, you want to get back and enjoy more of the evening. Now before we go, any wines left on the table, bottles of wine, will be collected by the staff and put on the bar for when you come back. If you need a comfort break, please do, because there are no facilities on the lorries and they can't stop because they're out with all the wild animals. And unfortunately you can't take any drinks with you, so if you have got a drink, finish that before you go. Now it's sunny here, but I can assure you that in the next half an hour, with the wind picking up on the scarp just round the corner, it will be a little bit chilly. So if you have got a jacket, I advise you take it with you. If you haven't, then use one of the blankets. And gentlemen, do look after your loved ones, because the ladies have all got very light outfits and you guys have all got jackets. So do lend them if they get cold on the track. Right? 10 minutes just out by the building to my left. See you there. Thank you very much.